Alright, are you ready for our Tangrams video? So the first step is when you take this stencil paper, we want to write our name in each of the sections. And now I'm filming this upside down, so like, don't judge. I'll flip this around in a second. So each one of these shapes needs to have our name in it. So I'll flip it around so you guys can see. Then we need to start actually cutting it out. So first thing we're gonna do is cut away all of the extra paper we don't need. Now when you're cutting, we wanna be really, really careful to stay exactly on these lines. We don't want wobbly shapes, we don't want extra white on the outside, we don't wanna accidentally cut away some of the shape from the inside. The more carefully you cut, the better your project is gonna come out. So nice and steady. Remember, our paper is held steady with the hand that doesn't have the scissors. And this hand that does have the scissors is just going up and down. Slow and steady until we get all of our pieces. There we go. And these papers right here can just be recycled. The next cut we're gonna make is from corner to corner. We're gonna cut these into two big triangles. Okay. And then we're gonna cut this triangle in half here. So we have two big triangles. Put those off to the side. We'll need them in a minute. Then we're gonna cut the medium triangle off. And then we can go ahead and cut these last four pieces apart. So now I have all 7 pieces of my Tangrams. I can take my scissors, put those away. We don't need them for the rest of the class. And then we can take out our piece of clay. So the next step, now that we have our clay, we have our knife for cutting, we have to arrange all of our clay piece, or all of our, we have to put all of our paper pieces on our clay. And in order to do that, we kind of have to remake this Tangram that we just had. So we're gonna start by pressing those two big triangles back onto it. Then in the middle, we had our parallelogram with the long side facing the out, short side touching the triangle. And then we had one of our little triangles, our square, our other little triangle, and then our medium triangle over here. Okay, and now at this point I'm going to pause the video so that you can all arrange yours on the table, or on your slabs just like this at your tables. And now that we have unpaused this video, the first step, just like when we were cutting out the paper, is to cut the outside square to get rid of the clay pieces we don't need. So you're gonna very carefully with your plastic knives, go ahead and trim off the bits of the slab that we don't need. Again, the more carefully you do this, the better your Tangram pieces are gonna look at the end. So very carefully, we've got all of our pieces here. You can just take this extra clay here, crumple it all up and put it off to the side. Okay, now we're gonna go one piece at a time. So I'm gonna take this piece off over here and I'm gonna cut my medium triangle off. Just put him off to the side. We'll come back to him in a minute. Then I'm gonna take this guy off. First I'm gonna cut along this edge. Okay. Then I'm going to take this guy off, and now I can cut along this line and along this line. Alright, and I can pull these away. Again, now I'm careful that you don't like pull on them or tear them or anything. We're just going to lightly and gently pick them up and put them off to the side. We're done with these shapes once we take them off, so I'm going to add those to the scraps over on the side, which is off camera, you can't see. The next one we're going to peel off is this little guy over here. And again, go ahead and cut him off. Then we're going to pull the square. It's okay if you get these little bits of paper here. They'll burn off in the kiln, but you can peel them up if you want to. Alright. Cut that guy off. Peel the last one off. Or second to last one, really. Ooh. There we go. Remember, you want to kind of cut down more than pulling because that's how you get shapes that move when you don't want them to. So here are all of our different pieces. We're going to just kind of move them a little closer together. Okay. Just like we did with the paper one, we now need to write our names on the different pieces because we want to make sure we get all of our pieces back when we're ready to build. So we're going to write Miss S. Now I'm doing it with this little clay tool here. You guys are just going to use your pencil. It works the exact same way. Now we don't want to cut all the way through. We just want to draw on the surface. So the pressure should be pretty light when we're drawing on our clay. We just want it deep enough that we can see your name later. If you have a really long name and you're struggling to fit it in, you can do what I did here where I just used my initials. So I did Miss S instead of trying to write out Miss Stockbridge because that's a really long name. Oh, and that's my cat trying to tell me it's dinner time. It's not dinner time. Anyways, so the last step we're going to do is take a little cup of water. Now I've already filmed clay videos, so mine's already a little bit muddied. Yours will be nice clean water. You're going to dip your fingers in there, going one shape at a time. You're just going to smooth along this edge here, so we're just rubbing back and forth. Make sure we smooth the corner. We want everything to have nice soft corners, nice smooth edges, nothing that's going to be sharp later when we have fired it. Because ceramics actually means like glass. And glass, you know, when it has sharp corners can cut you, and we don't want these clay pieces to cut you later. We want you to be able to play with them and work with them later. So I've gone around all of my pieces here and smooth all the edges. You're going to do the exact same thing for all the rest of these pieces. And when you're all done, we're going to leave these out to dry and get fired. It takes about 2 days to heat up and cool down the kiln, so it'll take about 2 days to fire, and it takes about a week for these to dry out. So we're going to do another project in the meantime. But after that, once they've been fired and cooled, we'll be able to paint them, and then you'll be able to actually play with your Tangram sets.